Recording device working? Okay, it's recording. All right. Welcome back again to another episode of Tactical Enlightenment. Our YouTube channel is dedicated to all things Banner Lord related, and especially advanced battlefield command and tactics. And fortunately, even when I'm a little bit inebriated, I can still say the intro here. Again, and welcome back again to our Aserai campaign. We're going to do just a little bit of drinking tonight, once or twice a month, get a little irresponsible, but hopefully we don't make too many mistakes for our campaign here. Just glancing around Danustica, I'll give you a little overview of the map here, and then we can talk about some of my plans for tonight. Besides drinking 3 or 4 alcoholic beverages, we are going to invade the south. We're going to finally wrest our lands back from Regea and company. Now you see the map here. I don't often show this, but Valandia is getting pushed back, right? The Southern Empire shoved them out of the south. The Battanians are still strong in the center. The Western Empire is actually holding on, and they have huge armies. I see them attacking people with armies of 4,000, so they're still alive. The Sturgeons are pretty strong, and the Khazad are on life support. Now, these fucking Southern Empire, they just barreled through the south like a hurricane and just took all the land. We've been at war with this Monchug motherfucker for almost 4 months, and I'm sick of it. He'll get his eventually, too. We've put some garrisons, we've put some troops in a lot of the cities and castles up here. Of course, we're holding his territory. No doubt he's mad. Now, we're going to disband this army. I don't want to do it quite yet, but my goal with this is, and of course, Jaime the Prince is the army leader, this other clan leader. We only have one clan in our kingdom. We're going to do it here on our way back to Danustica. I'm going to let him sort of roam the land for just a little bit longer in case there's an attack or a target of opportunity. I got to show you this, of course. Sign, this guy was a scout. He was a family member. He died in battle last episode. In fact, we can bring this gal to the party. In fact, she was right there at Akalat. She's going to be the future scout. Where's she at here? Shata. In fact, we can spec her right now to be the scout, and she will start getting skill points quickly. Now, we're going to be using her in battle as well, but she definitely is going to be fighting, scouting more than fighting. Hopefully my narration doesn't suffer too much here. Let me get another drink here and see if that improves things. All right. Hopefully I'm not too obnoxious. Most people seem to enjoy the episode or two I had where I was a little bit inebriated, so hopefully we can still have some decent battlefield tactics. It certainly makes me loose, right? I'm nice and loosey-goosey tonight. I have no give-a-fucks, no inhibitions. We'll probably do some swearing. We'll see what kind of shit my mouth spews out here. Hopefully it's interesting for you fellas. I appreciate all the support so far for this campaign. It's been overwhelming. Thousands of views for every episode. It's been pretty amazing to me. And so I will do my very best to keep you fellas entertained, right? Are you not entertained? Of course, I say that way too often, quoting the fantastic Russell Crowe in Gladiator. Now, we're going to do some of these quests here. I've been doing these quests all up and down the east coast here of the map because we want these villagers and whatnot, these bartenders and shit. We want these guys to give us their troops anytime we ask, right? And you got to improve relations. You got to do some fucking stupid fetch 'em quests. Fortunately, I have a bunch of companions that I don't mind bitch slapping and sending out into the world. Good luck, get some quests done for us, and make some improvements for us. It's a really nice feature. You can just have your companions do them. You have to do them the first month or 2 or 6 or whatever of the campaign, and then eventually you can just send your campaigns on them. Here boy, go fetch. Now this clan just joined the fucking Southern Empire. These are the rebels. I didn't know this was a thing. These motherfuckers were the rebels that rebelled at Vostrum. I did not know that was a thing. So they just joined the clan. That's fantastic. That'll be really interesting. It'll be amazing if we get killed by some of the former rebels. Of course, we smashed the rebels out of Vostrum. We retook Vostrum. Now, our Aserai friends here, right, Guzid, is at war with the Southern Empire, which is unexpected. That means they're going to be distracted down there. That means that the Sturgeons are going to not have anybody to fight but us. So, even slightly inebriated, that sort of changes my plans here. Maybe we will delay our Southern Empire
I offer you my...
We're gonna make an expedition down there, but maybe not until we put a little more hurting on the sturgeons here. What I'd like to do, and this is campaign strategy I'll talk about, I'd like to have a buffer of cities and castles and shit to basically act like a stiff arm to the enemy. We're doing some more quests here, just dumping some troops on these guys. I'll see if I can talk and chew bubblegum and juggle at the same time. And what you want to do before you engage on a 2-month tour, and that's how I like to do it. I like to take 3, 4, 5 cities, 2, 3 castles, and really deal a savage blow to the enemy with an invasion. What I like to have is a big line of buffer castles and cities around the area I want to keep. The reason is because you're going to lose them. When you invade for 2 months, you will lose castles and cities. Now, this guy didn't like us ordering him to disband his army, so we'll give him a little bit of influence. This fucking guy here, already talking back. He's been a clan leader for a month, and he's bitching that we're disbanding his army. What? Your army needed fucking restocking of troops there, dudes. Don't complain. I don't know why I'm so belligerent. I'm normally a really nice guy when I drink. I'll drink a little. Get a little bit more. Hopefully you guys don't find that obnoxious. I am a very casual drinker. My wife and I, a couple, 3 times a month. And yeah, kind of fun to play, right? Bannerlord's already a nice entertaining game to play. Fun to role play a little bit, and even more fun just to fart around a little bit with some narration while we drink. So I'm gonna go to Danustica here. I realize I should hurry up, right? You guys are in a hurry, or more accurately, I have like this assumption that guys are in a hurry. They want me to move things along, right? So we'll use the extra fast speed here to rocket down to Danustica. We've gathered up all of the armies, right? And that's because what I'm gonna do, I won't take forever, but I'm gonna stock some of these armies up with troops. This is the kind of thing that I may edit out later on, where you don't see it at all. Now you see this giant amount of prisoners. We're going to sell all these prisoners. We're going to make a gigantic pile of gold. At this stage, it already, Bannerlord in this way is somewhat broken. We have virtually unlimited gold. I mean, look at this. This is like half of the realm's nobles. Come with us. You guys all sold to the ransom dealer. I'm getting fucking carpal tunnel because we just ransomed like 40 nobles. So away they go, and we get some money and some other shit. We've got a bunch of troops here. We're going to gather up a lot of these elite troops, right? Wazu dumped a bunch of troops up north at Akalat, and now we need to add some of these troops so that we can disperse them across the various different armies in our larger army. The reason we're doing this, of course, is because we're supplementing the armies that are hopefully going to be part of Jaim the Prince's army. Again, his army was down to 6 something. I think actually it was 666, kind of ominous. And the other thing we're going to do is we are going to feed the people here at Danustica and turn on the militia valve, right? You can literally go in there and say recruit more militia. I'm not sure how that works, that they offer rewards or fucking put a sword to the face of the butcher's son and shit and say enlist, motherfucker. For whatever reason though, we get more militia now. We just changed a little setting. And that's because we're dumping the garrison here. We're taking all but the scrubbiest 150 troops. And if there's a good militia there, the enemy still won't attack, right? If there's a sizable militia. So Danustica remains our capital. It will probably be our capital the entire campaign. And so we're going to continue to stock stuff there, right? There's thousands of cows and horses. You can just picture in the menagerie. There's probably some giraffes and shit. There's tons of animals in the stash. Hopefully we're keeping those animals away from all our dates and shit like that. We've got Noah's Ark practically in our stash here, and that's in case we ever need lots of food, right? Of course we don't need sheep. We kill the sheep and eat the sheep, right? A little mutton stew. And I keep all those guys there just in case we have a food crisis. We have like 20-something thousand grain too, right? And I haven't really started the grain dump process on Danustica simply because we've been at war so much. Normally in a campaign, I like to get a city closer to 8,000 prosperity, but you have to have tens of thousands of grain to do that. It takes quite a while. And of course, this campaign, even though it's 30 years old or 28 years old or whatever, is really only like 4 or 5 years old because of the time warp. It's sort of misleading that it's the year 1110. If this is the first episode on the channel you're watching, first of all, what the fuck's wrong with you? Hopefully you check out some of the other videos. It's pretty well received. I had no idea that YouTube was going to be a thing, but evidently people enjoy the shit we're producing here. And so it's a little bit like a restaurant where we're starting to win an award or two. We're opening our doors proudly here on Tactical Enlightenment and hoping that you guys continue to swing by and watch an episode or two. All right, all that fucking pump or whatever that shit's called. So we want to continue to build up Danustika's total prosperity. And the reason, of course, is so that we can put a very small garrison there when we need it, right? When we need to make a big invasion like this, we can empty the garrison and sally off. Now, I'm hoping he forms an army. You just never know, right? Sometimes these guys... Dolk is under siege. Sometimes these guys don't form an army, even though they have all the necessary ingredients. They have enough influence, they have enough gold, they have enough troops, they have enough armies running around. Sometimes they just don't. There's an RNG element, I think, involved. So we just hope and pray that Jaim the Prince, and he's the only one that can form an army, as far as I know, until he has his underlings or whatever they are, the other lords that are in his clan. I haven't seen any of them besides them sitting in Danustica drinking all of Wazuban's beer. They just seem to sit there, a bunch of loafers. These motherfuckers, and speaking of some beer, these guys don't seem to do anything. Now, later in the campaign, I think when he has enough gold or whatever, maybe they have to... I actually don't know how it works. Eventually, you'll see some of the other clan members from his clan out running an army, and they can form an army, but nobody else in our army can. You got to have the influence, right? You got to be a social media influencer. You got to have a gigantic, tasty booty like those stupid-ass Kardashians. Apologies if that's like your favorite show besides this. Shit's stupid. Absolutely talentless. They just look pretty. Oh, boy. Our mouth's going to get us into trouble here tonight. We're going to do some rants. Sometimes people listen to the channel and they assume I'm sexist, which is very ironic because I'm the opposite. I'm generally a more feminine man, and I don't mean like I prance around with a purple umbrella. I mean I'm very much for women's rights and laws and whatnot, things that basically give women the best chance of a fair shake in this world. Let's not forget, man, that they practically bleed to death fucking once a month and have all kinds of horrific emotions that they go through that we don't have to deal with. There's all kinds of things that women have at the raw deal in this life. And generally, we, us men, get to enjoy, and they get all the morning sickness and fucking backaches and everything else. I won't go too far on that rant, but all that's to say, if it sounds like I'm a sexist on the channel, for sure, I'm just fucking around here. I like to make jokes. We're gonna be crass sometimes, and we're gonna be it's going to appear sometimes that we're almost racist, and that's also the opposite. I despise racism, fucking primitive ass shit. Let's catch these motherfuckers. These guys just kill. They're fighting each other. I think can't tell what's happening here. They just attacked looters or something, but there's a bunch of our enemy and they're all running. So we've released our attack dog here. It'll take her an hour or 3 to get up to speed. It doesn't look like she's gonna catch them. Maybe when I'm drunk we have less success at this. She's supposed to rocket in there. That's not part of my plan. That's for her to fucking... Here she goes. She's rocketing in there now, but they're just like... They're like little yapping dogs waiting for her. So here, let's bait them. Come on in, you stupid ass AI. Yeah, you guys are dead men. Shit, she's almost gonna get captured. Oh shit. That was almost the joke's on me. She's got 2 troops left. But we've caught these punk ass fucking Khazate and Southern Empire forces here. We've got all the rats in one fucking trap, and we're gonna fucking throttle these motherfuckers. Oh shit, it's dumping us in again. Man, this is hard when I'm sober. They fucking do this shit when I'm buzzed. I'm at the stage where your face starts to vibrate. My wife says that's when you don't drive, right? She says, like, as soon as you start to feel like any effect at all like that, you don't drive. And I'm very much an anti-drunk driving guy. I'm all about, like, I used to, when I was single more regularly, what I would do is I would tell the guys at work, Christmas Eve and shit like that, that anytime you guys are out New Year's Eve or something like that and you're not sure, if you think you've had too much to drink, I will come pick you up. I basically was a designated driver, right? I would not drink. I was kind of a loser. I was probably playing a video game, right? Or something like that. And no offense if you're out there playing video games, right? Doesn't mean you're a loser. But what I meant is like they were all out partying and drinking and shit like that and destroying their liver. And I knew, you know, that people have a tendency to not plan. They just go out and drink and then they get mangled and they still have their car parked and they want to drive it home and get late or whatever. And the next thing you know, they kill some fucking poor person that they hit. I've been on some horrific drunk driving calls in my 30-year fire career. I'm over 30 years now, 30 years of doing this shit. Not this game, of course, that would be impossible, but 30 years of firefighting. So I better get back to tactics here before I rant too much about that. Maybe I'll get back to that. We're charging here with the infantry divisions, which is the 1st and 6th, I think. It's a big mess. They dumped us right in here. I barely had time to separate our units, but now we have cav lines protecting them. Shit, their archers are point blank fucking pounding us. What the fuck did I run into? A ghost? Oh shit, there's a stick there. I can't see that when I'm sober. There's no chance of me avoiding that. So my commander button, my commander brain is alarmed. There's a huge amount of red death span. I don't know why. Maybe it's because these archers here are point blank. That could be the reason. Maybe it's these archers point blank pounding our forces. So let's get some cavalry and fucking truck through these archers. I may not be the most sharp commander tonight, fellas. This is just, it's a thing, right? I'm going to drink some in this campaign. It'll probably be 3 episodes. I think this is the second time I've done this. And I don't know, maybe if we lose, I'll go drink some coffee or something like that. Of course, that's not a thing. That just makes you do stupid stuff faster when you're drunk. It doesn't sober you. We've got some cavalry at least charging through. I don't know if I fucked up in this battle. Again, my introspection skills are not terrific right now because oxygen is not reaching my brain in the same quality level. But it just seems like we're being hit really hard here. This is a battle we should never lose. This should be a mop-up battle. And we're going to win still. I'm sure of that. But man, did we take a beating here. Fucking take off a head here out of frustration. We must have lost 200 or 300 troops here. And their archers are still free. I mean, part of it is they have good archers. They have Battanian Fiend champs and fucking marksmen and fiends and shit. It's a really eclectic army. They got some forces running. I think they're finally out of here. But man, that was rough. That was rough, fellas. I'm chucking javelins straight into the snow. Hopefully you guys aren't Xing out because my fucking commentary is horrific. I promise I won't do this shit over and over again. Maybe I just need to drink a little bit more, right? That's the good thing about Bannerlord is you can't kill a family of 5 by drinking and playing Bannerlord. I actually think Bannerlord is a bigger solution than people realize, right? Like your wife is like, or your girlfriend is like, why are you could be reading or learning and doing some shit. Tell her it's stimulating your brain. This shit's probably going to be one of the keys to, why am I being attacked by peasants? This battle is over. Tell your spouse or significant other. That guy did the no look block. He wasn't even looking at me. I'm not that drunk. That motherfucker was facing the other direction. And like he was a trick basketball player, was like, I don't even need to look at you. I'm so badass. I'll see if I can remember when I edit this to do that slow-mo. He looks the other way and blocks my huge swing with his little fucking tiny mace. Here I've got my cheat code for 950 weapon speed. That's how I swing fast. Of course, that's just the RTS mod. Okay, what else do we fucking ramble about here? Man, we did suffer a lot of losses. I need a drink. That makes me want to drink. 400 losses here.
I don't know. Of course, I wasn't paying attention. Maybe we lost a bunch of scrub troops. Seems like that was way more troops than I expected to lose. Also, to loss and to lose. I must be starting to get pretty frosty if I can't fucking narrate very well here. And shake it out a little bit. Guys are Xing out left and right. Here we go. We'll be all right, fellas.
I'm a spectacularly nice drunk. There was one time I tried to fight an entire soccer team. Actually, it was thousands of fans. I wanted to fight them all, but that is like the only incident where I was drunk and wanted to fight. And of course, I don't have any combat skills. Sorry to disappoint you fellas. Although you wouldn't want to meet me on the battlefield with an axe. I am a big fella, and I have monstrous arms and forearms. I would definitely swing a savage axe. But fortunately, I don't have any hand-to-hand combat skills because I have a terrible temper. And I'm sure if I had some combat skills, I've got some athleticism, there would have been a couple savage blows that really injured somebody when I was younger, just in a fit of rage. And I'd probably not be making this channel right now. It'd be the penitentiary fucking YouTube channel. I'm kind of glad that when I was younger, I got into a couple fights where I got my ass kicked and it basically turned me off to fighting. Don't fight, fellas. There's your genius fucking little advice for today. Hopefully this episode doesn't just evolve into shit. I don't think I'm that drunk, but that fight, that was one of the most ugly fights I can remember. That was a ghetto force, and we got fucking half of our force injured and killed. So I'm waiting for this Jaim the motherfucker to do something. He's coming up in a little tiny army. He's trying to gather his forces. Sahara the Spice Master. She's gaining steward skills. We trapped this motherfucker here, and I'm going to try to trap this other large Khazate for us. We're closing in on the Khazate. They have made us do this, right, by constantly attacking us. I mean, I give them a little advice. They could, attack the Sturgeons and go away. But no, they attack us. We can't get peace. They constantly attack us. They shoot us with arrows. I'm about had enough of these motherfuckers. So Jaim the Prince is right here with his small army. His army kind of looks pathetic because his main army group is 50. He doesn't really have, all the charisma and leadership skills and shit like that to lead a big army. So he's kind of staggering around with a small army. This bitch-ass Khazate force just got trapped. The AI has scouting skills, and if their scouting skills are not terrific, this happens, right? This guy just walked right into this. I think, yeah, he's going to run. So let's release our attack dog here on this motherfucker, right? This is a perfect scenario. We're not going to be able to catch him without Talia Willowbark. Sick him, right? You release your companion that has lots of cavalry, and this Khazate force is going to get caught. It's going to take an hour or two until her little, her disorganized state runs out. And this is another close battle here, so sit up in my chair here. Focus a little bit, open my eyes wide a couple times, and hopefully this isn't a debacle, although they do this shit again to us. All right, let's do some fucking tactics here. Let's fucking find our sixth gear, right, or whatever. I'm an extremely competitive person, and sometimes like in really challenging environments, it just makes me better. So we'll see what we can do here. We're gonna try a little kill box action here. I got all kinds of slopes and hills. Hopefully we can make the most of this. Of course, again, they're forcing us to divide our units fucking mid-battle like this, which is really unfortunate, right? This is just not a thing. You'd be able to come up to the battlefield and actually have units in the groups you want, but it is what it is, right? We got to play the game they're presenting to us. So I got 4th, 5th, 3rd, 5th. All right, so I've got my traditional setup now. 7th, Horse Archers. 8th is Jav Cav and Horse Archers. 1st is Infantry. Let's see if I can do this shit. 3rd is Cavalry. Oh, I need to get... fuck. I don't have a 2nd Division. Ah, fuck. No. No, we're still struggling here. I just fucking assigned... Dank. Oh, okay, they're good. No, shit, I'm doing it again. No, stop. Fuck. I can, see. I'll be able to study the analytics, right? Logged off. So-and-so X'd out right here. We're going to be able to recover, I promise. All right, here we go. All right, we'll pull our cavalry in 2 long, wide lines here, right? We're going to get infantry behind them, and we're gonna create a kill box scenario here, right? I'm going to open up the center. We're going to get our archers to flank them here. First, I've got to get these guys set up. Fortunately, the enemy's just coming in with Horse Archers, and for some reason, they just peeled out. So they did us a little favor there. That bought me 20 seconds, and hopefully that's enough for our guys now to get into position. I think that song was also, that's part of my random playlist. I think that the horn blaring in my ear, hopefully it's not too loud for you fellas. And by the way, leave feedback on that shit. Leave feedback on me. Don't drink and play, you stupid donkey. You suck. Your tactics go to shit. Your commentary goes to shit. You swear too much. You start telling me that women are amazing and I'm a disgraceful man, right? You guys can leave feedback. I don't mind at all. I got my infantry, my archers in a square. That's suboptimal. Let's get these archers spread out here. See these rocks here? I can use these rocks as cover. We can effectively hide units here until the enemy comes in and then fucking plow through them, right? It's a naked flank. And what I mean by naked is you don't have to defend it, right? The guys can just be there. That term comes from investing, like a naked hedge. We just got scorched in the face with arrows. I hit one of those gals back in payment. We'll see what they do here, though. They're being defensive now. If they don't break forward and attack, we will develop some savage flanking options for this Khazate force. Oh shit! Apart from pulling this cav division, I've sort of gathered myself. What's the saying, right? You get yourself together, man, right? Like we've gathered ourselves here and we're doing some focus. We're shield walling our infantry, right? We've got some elite shield wall tactics going on here, and now we're going to surround and destroy this Khazate force. Their horse archers keep coming straight across the middle, which is death for them. I don't even have to look. The crossbow and archers and whatnot are going to do the rest. Let's take a look at this Khazate force here. In fact, let's just plow their archers. Fuck you. I love flying in here like Rambo. Yeah, even when I'm drunk, motherfucker. Kill some cons guards and drive right in here. Let's give you one for the road, motherfuckers. It must be terrifying for the enemy to see this just reckless single horseman come in and just fucking dismember units from their army. Now, they've got heavy cav as well, so we'll have to account for that. Is that their main force moving? We've got our archers well positioned now. Get these guys just down on the ridge there. I'm starting to look at the landscape more, and it's, you know, I'm starting to pick up the little nuances. This is something I've just acquired while playing, and the more Bannerlord you play, of course, you will recognize opportunities readily. It's like Braille. As soon as you play enough, all of a sudden you look at the battlefield and you can just see terrain advantages. You can see angles. You can put your archers on just the right angle of that hill, and it matters. If you get your guys down a little bit from that hill, all of a sudden they don't shoot, right? We're going to get our horse archers pushed up here. Actually, they're charging. Okay, so let's open up a kill box. It's actually fine that our 7th and 8th is going behind it because those guys can pound them with arrows. Those guys will be able to absolutely wreak havoc from behind the enemy, so I don't have any problem with those guys going what they are. Our army is split up right now, but it's fine. It's got 2 complete corps. These guys can square. We'll pull them back. The cavalry can basically be pulled up and to shove these horse archers away, but these horse archers are also charging crossbow. Now, what have I told you guys about that shit, right? If you haven't discovered it yet, crossbow is your answer to horse archers. It skewers horse archers. Now, you got to have a good amount of them. I'm not saying 20 crossbow kill 400 horse archers, but if you have 100 horse archers and 80 crossbow, they're all dead. All right, they got archers here. Fuck these motherfuckers, right? We're going to drag our cavalry right through these guys. This time, though, they're coming over the ridge shooting at us, right? We're the ones prepared. These guys are charging a direction I didn't anticipate, so let's pull the 3rd and 6th back. The 5th can be pulled into an angle where they're going to be able to shoot. I'm going to be able to drag the 4th over here and really wrap up this infantry division. We'll start closing in on this infantry division. They have a lot of infantry for some reason. It's like 150 troops. Get these guys, they're not moving very fast. I don't know if you guys had too many yourself or something. This cavalry's getting attacked. Alright, this infantry division is basically going to be right behind the enemy. The 4th Corps can be placed on the enemy's flank here. I still have the 7th and 8th basically ready to skewer the enemy, right? They're behind the enemy. They're actually charging through now, causing carnage. I probably should have delayed them just a little bit. My timing's not going to be optimal. You never fight better drunk, by the way. That's just a thing, right? Like, you never drive better. Some people are like, I mean, maybe you fuck better. Probably ask the gal, though. She probably doesn't agree. There's not a lot of things that we do better when we're drunk, including narrating, right? I'm doing my best here. You know, this is admittedly more fun for me than you guys. We shall see, though. All right, so I have the first infantry on the other side here. We're basically closing in now with infantry. Of course, we're pounding them with arrows first, right? We're going to weaken them a little bit. Now these two different sides can collapse here. It's a huge amount of infantry, so I'll join them here. But look at that train coming from behind them. It's like pushing them towards us. There's so many troops there, and the enemy's panicked. They're in like a square. Every single guy is holding up their shield because they're surrounded. Looks like a Christmas tree. There's a little bit of red here and there, and then it's all green, right? It's just, they got a little red ornament here and there on the death spam, and then there's a giant flush of green for every one enemy death, or one enemy kill, we're getting 10. I got weak little fucking recruits and brigands and shit trying to fucking, of course they parry better than legionnaires. You guys ever notice that shit? You take like a dark hand and he's just a bitch. Kill him with one axe swing. But if it's a recruit, those motherfuckers are going to hold up that little blacksmith hammer and they will parry some shit. Of course, as soon as I said as soon as I said that, they stopped parrying. All right. These motherfuckers trying to hit me with javelins. Motherfucking plaid warriors. All right, so just a little battle here to warm up after that initial loss, right? We can still juke crossbow bolts and fucking throttle them. That's just something you learn, right? You know they're dialed in on you. You got to make that little juke, otherwise you get shot in the face. Cavalry's coming in here. They got a lot of fiend champs, surprisingly. And our cav is now doing the rest. This is a steamroller going through here. But this is becoming a very bad situation. Playing the devil's advocate. For the Khazate here, it's a very dire situation. Like, if you were playing Khazate, you'd be suicidal. They are being steamrolled. In fact, we have a lot of recruits. Maybe this is why we had the death spam. I don't know where all these recruits and looters and shit came from. But there's an awful lot of guys, stowaways here in our army. I see a whole fucking division. Yelling as loud as they can with victory. We've got a lot of weak troops in this army for some reason, so that's disconcerting. But nevertheless, more prisoners here. You know what this is? They attacked one of those big looter divisions. We won't take those guys prisoner. Those would be free troops ordinarily, but that seems like taking advantage of that. We've got these giant looters and bandit armies running around, and they're dangerous for a small army, but a big army just farms them, and I don't want to take all their prisoners. And we get a little autosave here. Every once in a while I break these up, but not today, right? I haven't needed to piss, which is strange. I actually had a good old English cup of tea right before I started drinking. That was just pure coincidence. But we got to figure out what's going on at Hakon Castle here. I think we'll round up whatever's attacking Hakon Castle here and then head to Akdalat. I think it said Sturgeons, but my brain is not exactly state-of-the-art. If you can get a little drink. Hakon Castle is our most northern castle or city. So this is going to get attacked a lot. I think we had a sizable garrison there. So between our 1,000, it almost doesn't matter what's there, right? We're going to be able to truck it. I apologize if the battles haven't been exhilarating in this episode. This is the thing, right? I was nervous about the campaign. I was like, there's going to be kind of a lot of stuff that's not that exciting. And of course, I still may, when I'm sober, just edit this shit out. You know, if I look back at it and I was like, they don't need to see 700 against. I mean, I'm drunk, but is that 5,000? I think there's over 5,000 going berserk on this castle. 30, 46. There's over 5,000. Maybe it's not quite. Wow. So the Sturgeons. Well, that's what happened, right? The Aserai got peace with them and went down and attacked the Southern Empire. And the next thing you know, the entire fucking realm of Sturgia is after this one castle. So it is. It's 3, 1, 2, 3. There's like 4 numbers there. It starts with the 3. That's not good. Now Jaim the Prince is heading I wanted to say he's heading to defend Odok, but instead he's going to travel to the city. I guess he's hankering for some beer. Never mind the fact that one of our cities under siege, motherfucker. Of course, you can't command your companions, these little clan armies. I know there are mods where you can do shit like that, but again, I'm trying to play this campaign without 357 mods because your average player out there or console player, they can't get that shit, right? And so it's frustrating for them to watch an incredibly modded campaign. It probably feels like Bannerlord 3 or Mountain Blade 3. So I'm going to sort of show you the struggles. Now he's running the other direction. Whatever you do, traveling to a totally different castle to besiege. So there you have it, right? We got some artificial imbecility on our side as well. I see people dying. They're dying of old age. Maybe they drank too much. They died of old age and fucking liver cirrhosis, something like that. All right, we're gonna break in here. I got 1,000 fucking defenders. I don't know what the layout of this castle is. I can't remember. I'm hoping it's the square one. There's a really nasty square castle layout for Khazate. But if it's the same as Urzaner Castle, that'll be fine too. Look at this motherfucker with the fro. Lasvac. He's actually one of the villains, one of the amplified heroes. There's a tiny little militia and garrison in there. We've got the battle size mod, so it's going to be a gigantic amount of troops on the battlefield. And fuck it, right? It's the battle of the Afros. Wazubon's fro. I don't know about you fellas, but it wins for me. His fro is the best. And fuck these sturgeons, you motherfuckers. Bring your whole fucking army to a party here. Well, we will stack your bodies fucking 8 feet high in front of the door of this castle. Of course, I'm talking a lot of shit here. It's very easy to be confident. I was ready to fight the whole fucking soccer hooligans. It was literally thousands of people marching. And my friend was like, no. At first, I was like, hey, let's go march with them. I was like, yeah, they're marching to the stadium. And my friend is, no, that's the other team's fans. And I was like, what? Instantly, like my Bannerlord shit popped up, and I was like, motherfuckers invading? They march on our city? And I was like, let's fight them. And he's like, it's 4,000, dude. And that's like, I don't give a fuck. You start punching a few of them, the rest will run. And he's like holding me back. Of course, I have no fighting skills. So the first guy who fucking swung a roundhouse at me, maybe I would have drunk dodged it, and then it would have been clobbered. It is the square one. Okay. This gives us a good shot to win here. We can still lose, of course, but even drunk, I see some opportunities. I've probably had 3 or 4 siege defenses in a castle like this before and achieved some astounding results. So that gives me a lot of hope, especially since we have some disadvantages and brain difficulties. So I got all these companions. I'm just going to sort of fling them into divisions here without too much thought and care. It doesn't matter too much, although I want to get... We don't have many banners. I've kind of botched the pre-setup for some of the battles. I need to get in and, trick out a few of the companions a little bit better. Of course, we had companions die. We've had a lot of companions die in the last month or two. So I do have, probably 600 troops on the battlefield. I have a lot. But that means the enemy's going to have 1,400, right? Because it's the battle size mod. There will be 2,000 units on the battlefield. Fortunately, we have lots of archers. I think that says 380 archers. So we're going to be able to provide hellacious crossfire. There are going to be over 10 million arrows fired in this episode. We are going to fire arrows through that main gate until the gate is closed with arrows. It's going to be like stacked to the ceiling with arrows and probably the corpses of the enemy. All right, so I'm trying to figure it out. I want to have a big archer division with some infantry support over here on the left, because this left side is the key, at least one of the big keys to defending this castle. I can put our javelin throwers there. Motherfuckers are facing the wrong direction, but I think when I tell them to fire, they will do the right thing. So the 4th Corps, I want way more troops than that on this wall. Get a little pre-drink here. So 3rd Division will be shock troops, right? We'll use them as an attack dog division. Here's what I can do. I can change the 5th to an infantry division. I don't need as many archer divisions. I need a big square to protect the 4th. right? This 4th Division with this good captain, decreased ranged attack damage, and he's got a bunch of bonuses for archers and crossbow and shit. Well, that's probably too many. I want to get like 100 guys on this wall so that it's just a fucking firing squad. Those guys, every single guy in the courtyard is going to get shot by those guys because they have line of sight. Now, they get a little bit vulnerable to the enemy, so I'd like to put a square right at that corner, and that's dual purpose. Not only does it absorb a lot of the arrows that are meant for these guys, and of course, the enemy's distracted by it, shooting at it. But if any infantry come up the wall, they can't get through that square. There's a giant block of guys holding their shield up, right? And they get scorched with arrows. Now, I'm going to move this thing around a little bit. Hopefully you guys don't get dizzy. We're going to do a little 3D shit here with this keep. I want to have a little bit on this back wall, too. You can't put as many troops, of course, but I'd like to get like 50 guys back here, or 40. You can only get so many. You got to kind of tinker with this UI. I know the guys are hot to trot on the scatter around mod or something like that. I promise you guys I'll play more with that mod down the road. I've kind of told guys that I'm not going to do it in the short term, especially not mid-campaign. I want to know what I'm talking about before I just start making episodes. I'm one of those guys who doesn't like people just sort of pretends like they know what they're talking about. Like I definitely ramble about history, but I'll tell you guys right off the bat that I'm just a history enthusiast, right? I don't have a fucking master's degree in history or something like that, but I fucking read, out of the way, fellas, I've read an incredible amount of history and played Bannerlord, right? I've got 10,000 hours. Oh shit. Fucking broken horse leg. Of course, that would kill a horse probably. But I've got a huge amount of Bannerlord experience, so I feel like I can say I'm an authority on Bannerlord. I don't know everything, of course. Nobody does. But we certainly have some shit to offer here. All right, so I want to get on a catapult here. Be nice if we could destroy that ram. That'll basically cinch this siege defense. They will only have the ladders, and there could be 100,000. I'm telling you right now, it would take you 2 days. But if they had 100,000 troops, they could not take this castle with ladders only. I mean, if they had 1 million troops, 10 million, they could never take this castle, because as soon as you come up those ladders, you get shot in the face, even holding up their shields. There's just so many arrows. Eventually your shield breaks. I think in real life they couldn't fucking hold the shield. I think what I remember reading is that a heavy shield with like 20 arrows stuck into it, especially like a wooden one with arrows, like it would be so heavy it'd be hard to hold up. But maybe some of you history experts can correct me on that. Again, you notice me saying I'm not sure. I'm not going to sit here and tell you, I'm fucking the David Attenborough of history. I'm not. But I am a history enthusiast, and we'll try to keep things lively here. We're going to burn some of these guys with these exploding fucking Greek fire here. Greek fire was invented in 346 by Hippolytus Machromatus. I'm making up shitis. Yeah, I'm definitely making some shit up here. I had to actually be told by somebody that there is a historical analog, or in other words, there is some real truth maybe behind this. Of course, it probably is not like this, where it just is highly stable, and then you can fire it in the enemy accurately, and it blows a bunch of guys up. There's plenty of inaccuracies and not so realistic parts of Bannerlord. But I've been told that Greek fire would function kind of like this. So who knows? There's a good shot, right? We can fill the whole screen with dead sturgeons. Now, I wanted to save some of these fireballs because these motherfuckers are coming up for the ladders, right? And it's just fucking absolute destruction. Oh, shit. Those ladders are a long ways away. I'm going to have to get my best. God damn it. Motherfucker. This guy baited. He was getting shot at, and it fucking made me drop my bomb. People ask sometimes, how do you throw these so far? I think it's throwing skill, fellas. Some guys say it's siege skills. I think the damage maybe goes up with siege skills, right? When you have higher siege skills, maybe the damage goes up. And maybe it's a combination, but throwing skills, I think, is the key, right? Do your tricep extensions at the gym. Look at these guys coming to try to intercept us. Catch a flaming fireball, you fuck. I'm actually kind of eager to get out of here because it does seem like the sturgeons are heading up here. I don't see any coming yet, but their body language tells me that they're sending a posse of fucking murderers to try to take us out. So, yeah, here these motherfuckers are. Fuck you. This is our gatehouse. We get a little belligerent when we're drunk, right? Even though I told you I'm a nice drunk. You can hear the arrows hitting the shields of the 10,000 sturgeons that are beneath us here. There must be a giant shield wall right at the door trying to push in, and they're getting absolutely destroyed with arrows. Oh, we gained some levels, drunk levels here. Level, I think that's 41. Wazu is getting up there. Drilling some bitches in the back here. 3rd division's fine. You see the 4th is fine, right? These sturgeons have a 0% chance of getting through here. I don't give a fuck how many there are, right? They're not getting through this square. The square is like 6 men deep. Yeah, good luck. You're getting shot with archers the whole time. Get off this wall. I'm going to shove this guy right the fuck off. You just got killed. Fucking fall to your death. Alright, so now we got to start manipulating these squares. Otherwise, we'll be here forever, right? The sturgeons are holding up their shields. They do a really good job of blocking arrows. And you can see the fucking enfilade fire, right? That is incredible. There must be 300 archers all shooting. Maybe it's only 250, but there's an incredible amount of archers shooting at these sturgeons. It's an amazing effect. Kudos to the maker of the game for having this be stable. There's 2,000 units on the battlefield with shields flying all over the place. That noble dropped her axe, or his axe, or whatever. There's so much going on, and it's 60 frames a second at 4K graphics. Like, it's pretty impressive when you really look at it. I know this is a flawed game. I'm obviously with 10,000 hours, I'm well aware that the AI isn't terrific, and there are other problems and bugs and whatnot. But look at that shit. That is incredible. Now, here's why they're trapped. I've got the 2nd division just standing here throwing javelins. If the enemy charges us, I will drop the 2nd Corps right next to this other enemy force, just like I did, and we will have the other division charge, right? We basically have all of these levers to pull that no matter what the enemy does, or whoever, no matter who's controlling the enemy, even if it was a really good tactical player, they would never be able to take this castle. I better not say that. They would probably never be able to take this castle. Like, you know, there might be ways around it, but the setup we have here is, oh shit, I'm trapped, fucking getting attacked. Motherfucking sneak up on a drunk guy. Guy should know better than that shit. Now, this division over here is getting attacked, so we're going to give them some support. I think this is the 6th division. The gate is okay. Almost solid green death spam. It's like a 10-to-1 kill ratio. These guys here are getting attacked by strong infantry, and these are our archers, right? We got to protect these guys here. In fact, as long as there's sturgeons here, I'm going to stand here for a little bit. Well, I don't want to stay here forever. These sturgeons, man, are so fucking tough, right? Their infantry, there might be other infantry that's better than the sturgeons. I'm not gonna, especially when I'm drunk, I'm not gonna say which is the best infantry. Overall, I really like Britannia, but the sturgeon infantry to me is the toughest. They have the best shields and the best overall defense tendencies, which makes them incredibly well suited for squares, shield wall, keep defense, etc. Right? I mean, fighting horse archers, it's almost like they're designed by the company to deal with horse archers. I mean, this guy, look at that shit. He had 8 guys pounding him before he died. And hit the gate to multitask. Catch a javelin, bitches. And this is only like 3 or 4 sturgeons, but they are just fucking tanks, right? Maybe it's 6. But we're in a fucking death match up here. Like, these guys need help. We knocked that guy's head clear out of the fucking keep. You know what I can do here is I can pull units from an infantry division and give them a bit of a hybrid division. I can pull, what would I do? I'd probably pull, this 2nd is a mix. Let's just try to pull a few guys to the 6th, right? We'll pull, I'm sober enough to understand that if I just get some infantry up here, these guys will have support. On the other side, of course, you already know, oh shit, Manavliaton, you gotta watch out for those guys. Luckily, he only hit my arm. The other side, it has the 5th division in that square, right? So those archers are golden. The gate has the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. He got fucking mauled. They're sending nonstop fucking infantry. In fact, I can't even get out of here. I'm kind of trapped up here. It's not a comfortable feeling, right? There's a bunch of axe swinging murderers coming at you nonstop. Now I do have a companion here. I don't recognize him. Oh, you guys are the hired help here. This is the 2nd Division. Unfortunately, it gave me like the weakest fucking 20 guys. At least there's some Aserai Ferris here behind. It's sending militia and guys wearing bathrobes and shit. This guy here, fucking dipshit. Oh shit, I'm getting fucking attacked. Wazuban and me as a player, I'm not the greatest hand-to-hand player. I've seen some incredibly good players out there. Guys are like, oh, you're the best Bannerlord player I've ever seen. Well, trust me, you go onto YouTube and you'll see much better players. There's some savage motherfuckers out there. They would just obliterate my ass, like in I don't know, an arena or some shit like that. But I know my distance. I know how to run, right? Discretion is the better part of valor. If you're a two-handed axeman in a battle like this, right, it's all about distancing, right? You're going to use your reach and you're going to use your athleticism. I don't have a shield, right? I don't have a fast weapon. Of course a legionnaire is going to kick my ass, right? You got to use your distancing. Look at this arrow fire, right? I told you it was going to be 10 million arrows fired into the gatehouse, and nobody survives that. Now, the only thing we want to do here is create a layout for our squares so that these guys can actually be shot. Otherwise, it'll take forever to kill all these guys holding up their shields, right? Now, here's one thing I can do. I've got some balls here. If I can find this shit. I get a little lost in all the different castles. It's here, I think. Here we go. We got some stones to chuck down on their head. And this is definitely going to expedite things. That left a dent. But there's a couple things going on here. First, this enemy force is huge, right? It's 5,000 fucking troops. This is, for all intents and purposes, this is literally an epic siege battle, one of our weekly epic siege battles, right in the middle of our Aserai campaign. And I thought this would happen, right? You're dealing with massive enemy forces. Look at, they're all putting their shield up in unison because I'm chucking rocks at them. Block that, motherfuckers. But here's the other thing happening. You notice how they're like tier 5? Almost all of these guys are tier 4 and tier 5. That's because of the strength and AI mod, right? These guys are getting EXP on a massively accelerated level. And so by the time an army gets to 5,000 troops, or whatever it is, right? These two different, one of the armies was like 3,800 or some shit. They have had a lot of EXP for those troops, right? They've probably been stomping people's asses for a while. Now let's expose this side over here. I've got this line of crossbow. The damage from those guys will be exceptional, and they're closer. As long as we can protect them, this is the side we want shooting. Now they're dividing here, that's fine. We can help a little bit. I love the jump kill, right? Jump and fucking smash a guy in the head. You gotta watch them in avaliatons. Fuck. Oh shit. Getting slashed and hacked down to a fucking sliver. And case in point there, right? Like, I get attacked by 5 enemies and I get mauled. I'm an old guy, right? I can't be expected to be fucking dominating the battlefield like you young kids. I see these kids running around, and it reminds me when I had good reflexes. Even my vision is fucking going bad. I'm at 50-ish, and I had an eye exam for the first time in my life. I had worse than 20/10 vision. They were like, yeah, you're 20 or something like that, 20/20. I used to have better than average vision, and then they were like, no, you're 20/20 now. Your eyes are getting worse. And I was like, well, I didn't do anything. I'm just getting old, I guess. It's just life. I eat carrots and everything, right? I'm very careful. Look at that now. These guys are absolutely getting shelled. And we've got this lever to pull. I've got the 2nd and 3rd corps I can both manipulate. So anytime I want, if these guys all of a sudden start charging us, which they may, we will simply bring the 2nd corps in here, slam the gate, and then charge at the 1st, right? I'm sober enough to know that this is a death trap for the enemy. There's virtually no amount of enemy forces that can overcome this assault. I mean, look at that shit. That is incredible. I'm gonna look at this shit like you guys aren't watching. It's a fucking game. Of course it's a video. Of course you're watching. I mean, I guess someone's listening. Hey, you that's just listening, look at this shit. It's an amazing visual spectacle. There's all this smoke and carnage and bloody snow, and there's thousands of arrows rocketing in there, just scorching everything in sight. Every single guy here is shooting as fast as he can, and you can't miss. Oh shit, here they come. All right, 2nd Division square. Fuck you bitches trying to change. We're ready in a jiffy for your bullshit fucking tactics. 1st Division, charge. Let's get the 3rd over here. Now we're going to fucking sandwich pinch these bitches in, and none of you guys are going to survive. Now, a lot of them, unfortunately, charge the gate, but that's actually fine. That'll give us time to annihilate all the forces that are inside the courtyard. The archers are shooting over our infantry's head. Of course, there's no friendly fire, right? Otherwise, we'd be getting mown down, too. It would be like Braveheart. Oh, shit, we've got naked militiamen running up. That 2nd Division, unfortunately, is going to have some weak-ass archers in it. I might even want to change that not being a square because those guys are going to get raped. I see them getting assaulted. They're getting skewered. I love it. That crossbowman ran up and was like, I can help, when he clubbed a guy, and then he ran back. He's like eager to get into the battle. He's like, I did it, boss. I ran up and helped. Oh, they're trying to send archers through. I'll hold my shield up here and watch them be completely destroyed. Imagine trying to shoot right there. You get through the gate. All right, load arrows. Every single guy is. It just looks like one of those farcical gangster movies, right, where the guy is shot with so many arrows he can't fall down. He's just shaking, standing upright, shaking, which is not a thing, right? That's I hate to say it, but I've seen shootings on gore channels and shit like that to desensitize for our job, and they don't stand up like that. They crash to the ground immediately. All right, I'm going to use this other larger division. It's actually too big. It's like fucking 170 guys. We might start to outnumber the enemy here soon. What's happening, of course, is that we're getting our reinforcements, and with the battle size mod, the enemy has less forces. So we're no longer outnumbered 6-1, whatever it was, 5-1. And so we're getting huge blocks of reinforcements. I can't count, of course. I would guess, though, we have a solid 700 units on the battlefield right now. Probably 300 archers and 350, 400 infantry. Now, some of these guys are militia. I see them holding up their wooden shield bravely. They're doing their best. But this is a maelstrom. Now, the enemy, for some reason or other, is trying to go up these stairs. Maybe they think it's like capture the flag and there's a stair up there, a flag up there or some shit. There's nothing up there, fellas, except your death. They might be trying to rally, right? They got these forces on the ladder trying to... that guy's javelins and shield roll down the stairs. I think they're trying to rally here, but it doesn't matter what they do, right? We've got these 2 different squares. I've got the 3rd Division. I'm going to bring these guys closer. Anytime I want, I can charge at the 3rd Division. Of course, these archers that are standing right here, all of these guys can charge. I'll just tell them to charge at once and hold fire. Look at that sergeant crossbow again. He runs up as like, I smoked him, boss. These motherfuckers almost got in. I kill all of them. We give that guy a raise. The shields, they're rolling down the hill and shit. The physics engine in this game is, I don't know, it's nearly perfect. And when I say nearly, of course, when you see a guy get hit or a horse go flying through the air, you know it's not perfect. But in a way, that's better. Like, there's artifacts that make it even funnier than jump and kill this motherfucker. All right, so let's see. The power bar is close to equal. The enemy may rout at any point. This battle is all but over. So what do we do here? What do we do? We keep narrating. Sometimes I know I'm not going to narrate, right? I'm just going to, when I'm switching out units at a castle. I've been skipping those a lot lately for the campaign because you don't want to watch me sort through 200 troops. Getting these guys out of the way of the door because they're bringing up archers. No reason for our guys to get shot at from, the safety of the door. We'll make these guys come into the fucking arena to shoot. And of course, these archers insta shot in the face. Just no chance. Alright, let's rant about some gore. We'll do some gore. There's plenty of gore in Bannerlord. I am extraordinarily desensitized to gore. Not only through the job, but I purposefully watched gore. When I was quite young, 1918, I had a medic say, look, you're going to encounter shit in the fire service. I'm a 30-year firefighter, if you don't know that part. He said, you're going to encounter stuff that's very difficult to see. You're going to see dead people. You're going to see people who are actively dying. You're going to see children with their faces split open in a bike accident. You're going to see horrific shit. You're going to have to deal with the people and their families' obvious responses to this horrific shit. He recommended that I started exposing myself to gore videos. Not like masturbating in the corner, but just to sort of see some of the stuff that you're going to see in real life as a firefighter beforehand, right? It's not like I watch 3 hours every night on YouTube or something like that. But what seeing accident scenes, who were filmed by people, or seeing gunshot wounds and stuff like that, what it does is it anesthetizes you to it. I think that's how you say that word. I always have a hard time pronouncing it. Anesthetizing it, or something like that, which basically means that you become a little bit numb to it. I think it literally comes from the anesthesiologist, right? The person who makes you numb for surgery, right? They put you to sleep or whatever. So when you see gore in real life as a firefighter, once you've been exposed to that stuff, whether it's on the job, I'm trying to figure out what we got going on here. It looks like most of the sturgeons are lined up on one ladder, which is unfortunate, right? Because they're not participating in our slaughter fest here. Let me finish the point. Once you've been anesthetized to that, then it's much easier to function at a high level on the fire ground, which is vital in our job, right? I see it all the time with new guys. We get a call where someone jumped out either suicidal or accidental out of a 4 or 5 story building, and they're in agonal breathing with brain matter, and we're still working CPR, still trying to save these people, and they lock up, right? These guys can't function. It's the first time or second time or third time they've ever seen shit like that, and they don't know mentally how to process it, right? They're so shaken by the thing. It's a little bit like PTSD, that they're they're basically unable to function. And those are the kind of guys that obviously we want to try to avoid. And I don't mean the people, but the mindset, right? We need to be robots, because when everybody else is having their worst fucking day possible, 9/11, people burning to death and jumping out of the building intentionally splatting on the ground, we have to be the coolest heads in the room, right? We have to be able to go and operate and function and face life and death decisions without a lot of fear, right? Of course we have fear just like anybody else, but we need to be robotic with decisions. We need to be able to handle gore. We need to handle somebody who's really burned and not be like, oh shit, man, you're really burned, that's incredible, or freak out, or some people get nauseous or whatever. And I've watched enough gore now that I'm an absolute robot. I can watch people die, and it doesn't mean that I'm cold-hearted. I'm extraordinarily sensitive to family members who are going through this, or the people, right? I'll hold the hand of somebody who's dying. There haven't been a whole lot of incidents. Usually when we're watching people die, it's heart attacks. So they're already out, right? They're unconscious. But in the handful of times where I was with someone who was actively dying, imagine what you yourself would want to experience. And of course, you don't want to experience it at all. I'm trying to bring these archers up here to get some enfilade fire. I'm actually thinking about Sally attempts here, because my stories will only keep you guys entertained so long. But essentially, what would you guys want if you were dying suddenly, right? You got hit by a fucking garbage truck, right? And you're disemboweled, and death, everybody knows death is imminent. You'd want some humanity at that stage, right? You'd want someone to comfort you. You'd want someone to hold your hand, or whatever it is, right? To sort of to lessen the horror of death, right? And that's what I've always tried to do, whether it's the people who are the relatives of the people who are going through it, or the actual people themselves who are dying, right? Like these people, they need our support more than anything, right? So it's something that I've found was helpful for me. I don't know why I'm telling you this story. Maybe because there's 900 sturgeons piled up on the ladder and not coming up. But it's just sort of an interesting thing I wanted to mention. I've seen some drunk driving accidents that you wouldn't believe. The bodies just in shapes and mangled in ways you wouldn't believe. And I think we'll see. We're going to sally out here. I think I'll tell you briefly about the most memorable one, and in an awful way. Now, of course, we've got archers already set up, and they're scorching the enemy. I probably should command from the rooftop, but I can't help it. I want to get my axe bloody. So we're going to move 2 squares here like a magic trick across the enemy. Basically going to wave it in front of the enemy here, and the archers will effectively be exposed to different guys in their formations as these squares move. Of course, there's no friendly fire, right? So our archers can literally fire away with no fear and do major damage here. A lot of times the enemy won't charge in this situation. If they charge here, we're going to be in trouble. They are charging almost as soon as I said that. Okay, we got a little bit of a problem. Let's keep the squares moving to the right. They open up these archers, and it's time to wield our battle axe. This is why I came out here, in case my men need me. Now, understand that I'm not doing this because this is the best thing to do. If this was a campaign that I had to win this battle, I would sit in the situation we were just in. I would go take a piss. I would go get another beer, and I would wait, right? But for this campaign, I understand that you guys are watching. I want to have some finality to this, and I also don't want to just edit and swing all the way to the end of the episode. How the fuck is this guy not dying? Took 2 axe shots to the face. Didn't die. The sun is setting or going up or whatever, and we're in trouble here. Our squares are holding, but the enemy's bringing up reinforcement. I didn't think they would have guys with javelins still coming up, and the screen is very messy with death. I have a fraction of health. And of course, stubborn sturgeon forces that block everything. We've got ourselves a maelstrom here. I can't get in because there's sturgeons in the gatehouse. I'm getting fucking chased down by guys who have fast weapons. It's a little bit nightmarish. Our archers are moving up shooting. I might even try to kite with these archers. We've got a few archers on the walls shooting here. No, that's all we need now is a bunch of stalls. Well, I might have fucked us in this episode. All right, we're back. Apologies for that. Apologies, I don't really need to apologize. You guys are watching. You're having a good time. Of course, I'm doing this because I'm trying to entertain you fellas. Right, we're taking some chances here. And now we're in legit trouble. Now the sturgeons are actively climbing the walls. It's kind of funny. They're literally trying to climb the ladders while our archers are shooting at them. I'm going to try to bring these archers over this ridge here, but I have no health, right? Like a little tiny flick of an arrow will drop me at this stage. Die, motherfucker. Oh, this guy parries and then kills me with his fast sword. All right, well, we got a little bit of a debacle. Who's this? This is Shaita or Rama or somebody. Let's go ahead and pull the 8th Corps, 4th Corps, and the 3rd Corps back inside the castle. The forces outside are just going to have to do the best they can. Obviously, I can't command both sides until I get up on a wall. But now we're going to make sure we win this castle defense. This will be the definition of ignominious to lose this castle siege, simply because I was trying to move things along. At the same time, I don't mind at all if we win, right? This is an interesting... interesting is to say the least. All of a sudden, these guys are Jet Li parrying everything. Okay, we've got a death ball set up again. We've got 2 different archer divisions providing enfilade fire. Of course, the enemy is down to low-level troops. I was counting on that when we charged out there. They would have a whole bunch of recruits. This is literally like 60 recruits right here being wholesale executed. Maybe it's 100 recruits. There's a bunch of them. We've got a square at the gate. They're just all bypassing it, though. It's what they were doing earlier. They're all trying to get up on the wall, I think. I don't know why. It's obviously... They should just try to charge our archers. At least it would be a little bit of a fight. But nevertheless, they're being wholesale liquidated. All right, so I'm confident we've got this siege now. So I'll tell this story. I arrived on scene. I was with an engine company in Kodiak, Alaska. And we arrived on scene of a multiple vehicle accident. One of the vehicles had clearly rolled. It was all damaged, but it was on its normal side. It was a weird looking sight. There was another vehicle in the ditch, some smoke coming out of the radiator, and the first vehicle, and fortunately we win this battle still. Suffered some consequences here, but it's fine. In this campaign, some losses from time to time are inevitable, and it's really not that big of a deal. Finish my story here. And this gal, this poor 16, 17, 18-year-old girl, had been ejected from her vehicle, from this SUV, and she was hanging over the mirror, the passenger side mirror, like a piece of article of clothing. She really did look like a Halloween costume, and I'll never forget it. It was ghastly. She looked, like she was going to be a beautiful young woman someday, and she was killed, ejected from the vehicle, and her body, probably by the forces, was just wrapped around the mirror, hanging kind of upside down. And I was young. I kind of stopped and stared in disbelief, like that's a person. Only to learn later on that her father was the driver of the other vehicle and hit this other vehicle that had her friend driving, injured her friend, and killed his own daughter. And of course, he was a repeat DUI. So, holy shit, 301 troops. Well, that's just what the doctor ordered after that sloppy battle, sloppy siege defense. I mean, anytime you defend against 5,000, here, a little golf clap, right? We'll do a little, that's a successful thing there, even though obviously it was messy. You guys could see all the ingredients there to an unstoppable siege defense, though. Hopefully you guys that are out there playing Khazate now understand that there are 3 or 4 castles in Khazate that are virtually untakeable. A nice little refuge for your own Helm's Deep, right? Anyways, this fucking guy had gotten into another DUI. I know this because the police were on scene and they were talking about it. Like, this fucking guy, this is like his 7th. This repeat DUI guy, and he finally struck the worst jackpot of all, right? He killed his own fucking 17-year-old daughter who was just out driving with a friend. Anyways, that has always stuck with me, and so I'm very careful about my own alcohol consumption and driving. I used to have a rule. I didn't drink at all, 0, if I was going to drive, and now I allow myself 1 medium drink, right? I never drink more than 1, and I don't mean a fucking shot. I mean like just a beer. If I'm going to drive, 1 for the whole day. Well, some incredible loot here, right? A masterwork glaive. We'll get back to the game here. A beautiful helmet for Wazu, even though it's not culturally accurate. We'll probably still throw that thing on. It looks superior to what he's got on. Maybe that'll give him a little bit better protection when he gets conked on the noggin. Of course, his afro should as well. You should get like extra defense for having a big afro in there, right? It'd be like padding. You'd get clubbed over the head, and it would be like having a giant fucking airbag with inside your helmet, right? It would like, oh, I felt a tickle. You slammed me over the head as hard as you could, and it barely hurt me. All right, well, maybe we sobered up a little bit, or maybe I just sort of hit my stride. Either way, capture this last sturgeon noble fuck. This is actually that modded Nemesis guy. Kind of went down like a bitch. Of course, here they were trying to flee, I guess. They got captured. But this is a huge siege defense for us, right? Not only in terms of the scale, 5,000, almost 5,000 defenders, but we just gave the Sturgeons a hell of a haymaker in this campaign, right? That was probably 3/4 of their forces, and we just destroyed it all in one fell swoop. They're being attacked, actually, so that's going to be interesting to see what the Sturgeons do about that, right? They may even shift their attention west to where they're being besieged. All right, all that said, friends, hopefully you guys didn't mind me drinking a little bit tonight, having a little bit of fun with this episode, tell a few stories. I've got some troops to spread out here. We have suddenly a gigantic army and decisions to make, right? Do we plow further into Khazate or do we head south? So please subscribe, of course, if you want to see more. Leave comments, criticism. You can say you don't like drunk bitches. I appreciate you, fellas, and I will see you guys next time.